dance with me, move your body, 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 your life with beat.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. Let's talk about Bitcoin and some cryptos. Again, if you watched my video on the marketplace, we got Powell on Wednesday. Will he cut? Will he not cut? Will he not cut but be dovish? We have mega cap tech earnings coming out the same day as Powell, the day after Powell. Expect some volatility. And we have Bitcoin coiling. Deep volume compression. It's going to explode up or explode down. I believe the bias remains to the upside. Let's cover this in some TA. I got some extra cryptos on here for you today as well. You can always check the timestamps, guys, to see what I got on here. But let's look at this. So I was covering the crypto total market cap in the Discord the other day. I just want to share this with you because clearly, you've seen this pattern before, right? It's literally the same pattern as the Bitcoin pattern, right? It's the exact same pattern as the Bitcoin pattern. Now, when you look at crypto market cap here, 3.95 trillion, your first level of resistance, 1618, that's what you hit. You're at 3.84 trillion. That next level is 4.72 trillion. Curious to see if it continues to track in line with Bitcoin. Very, very interesting. But remember, I'm looking for that last pump up and then a steep retracement and then the blow off top November, December in Bitcoin. Let's click through some charts. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, altcoins have been able to run because Bitcoin dominance hit the 1618 in the channel beautifully, went down 8.5%, 9%. But now you got your double bottom. You got your W fractal forming here right at the base of the channel. Are we going to get Bitcoin dominance turning back up, right? You're right at the base of the channel. Let's look at this big macro picture. The Bitcoin cycles tops and the Bitcoin cycle bottoms, again, are RMA piercing through the beach ball over here. Once it gets to 69, you have a warning that within 30 days, if it repeats this cycle, you're going to get the market cycle top, okay? I believe that will happen over here towards the 168K plus level. But right now, we're still a little bit away from it. We've got to cross 69K. I think that'll happen if the cycle plays out in this 4-year topping cycle. You're looking at November, December once again. Just like in 2021, November top. Just like in 2017, early December top. Just like in 2013, November top. My bias, once again, will be yet again another November top, right? That's just what I'm thinking. I know it's like so groundbreaking to expect the market to do what it's been doing for 12 years, right? 12 years in a row, you've been topping the same 4-year topping structure in November, December. Could it be different? Sure, it could be different. I think it's kind of foolish to not expect it to do what it's done the last 3 cycles in a row. At least be somewhat aware of what it's doing. Guys, by the way, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm really bad at plugs. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Check out Bitunix if you want to trade these markets. They do help keep the lights on. I would appreciate it. Be a Market Makers VIP. I'll pin that in the comments as well. Would love to see you on the Discord. Go to marketmakers.trade if you want to join our room. And you can also join right through YouTube with the join button. You can become a member on YouTube and get members only videos. We publish all of our education, all of our TA videos from myself and my staff, all for YouTube members right there. So you can check that out with the join button. Let's continue forward. Again, the Bitcoin top, guys, and I know so many people are so bearish on this stuff. You know, it's funny, when we got up to this level and I said this is a flagging pattern, we're going to break out to the upside, right? We hit the 109 target. Why was I so confident? Because we hadn't achieved the 1618. We got to the 1618. And again, I said you're going to come back down and rally back up again, which is exactly what you did. And we have not achieved 132 of the 200% move. I think that's still coming. There's nothing in the price action yet that tells me you're not getting to 132. I would be the first one to tell you, because obviously I want to short the market if I think it's going down. We'll get into that here in a second. But this is playing out the exact same way it has at key tops, right? You have to understand the patterns. We have our larger macro ABC at 132. We have range expansion confluence for 132. Multiple Fibonacci patterns and harmonics, like 3 waves to a top ending at 132. We have smaller 3 waves to a top. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, multiple patterns all taking you to 132. Again, so my bias remains that we're going to 132. The way I trade these markets is with ratios, mathematical ratios of expansion and contraction, aka Fibonacci ratios, and this is how I believe it's going to play out. 132 is the target, guys. And what happens after 132? In case you've been living under a rock and have not been watching any of my videos, if we just look back at the July tops that Bitcoin did, in July 2024, it topped on the 29th, right? Topped on the 29th, and then it fell 30%. And it fell 30% very, very quickly in 7 days, okay? 7 days, it fell 30%. Think about that. That's like you waking up at some point this week. Let's say you wake up on Saturday, you're out on a bender on a Friday night like Lee. You wake up on Saturday, you're like, oh shit, Bitcoin's 132. That's awesome. A week later, it's at 90K, okay? That's how fast that can happen in a week, because I believe these pullbacks, these retracements that we're getting in the markets, and again, the S&P does 10%, Bitcoin's going to do 20, 25, 30%. That's just historically how it works out. Then we're getting the cycle blow off tops. Hyper bullish, okay? Hyper bullish after that. We look at this on a daily time frame. Again, just looking at our cycles, how they're playing out. Guys, this is a coil, okay? This is a Wyckoff range death coil. If any of you got in on that dip, I know a couple guys in the Discord did. We dipped down to like 114. I think, Reardon, I'm talking to you, man. I think you probably picked up some Bitcoin, didn't you? But we got down on that dip, came back up in the range. But this is a coil looking at it from this perspective. And again, when I look at this on the DVD, guys, I went back the whole cycle, the last 4 years since 2021. We never had volume delta compression like this on the DVD indicator ever in the last 4 years, right? This thing is going to explode up or down. Again, my bias is to believe it's going to complete the pattern and explode to the upside. When am I wrong? Because I know a lot of people want to be really bearish, or maybe you're already in shorts. Well, take out your low. That's just a small low there at 114. But really, it's the structure beneath you that you formed, right? Your accumulation pattern is your structure that you formed here. That's when you're in more trouble, as if you get below 98 from 118. And obviously, that's a steeper drop. But your first step would be taking out 114, revisiting the support structure, these fractal highs up here at 110, 111, right in this range. If you can take all this out, right, take out that support line coming down, then I'm wrong and the retracement already started, right? I don't think that's the case right now. I think the case is you're coiling. Bitcoin topped after the markets in 2024. It continued to go up, and then it topped, and then it dropped rather rapidly. So I'm looking for that move up to that 132. We'll look at Ethereum. What did Ethereum do? It went straight to target, 3801 to 4100. I think today or yesterday you got up to 3950, yeah, 3941. We look at this. I mean, look, you have a triple top. And on a triple top, the fourth attempt is usually the breakout attempt to the upside. Is this truly a triple top? This is a little bit shy of the line, so maybe that's not appropriate to call that the triple top. But you have to think about what Bitcoin's doing. And like I said, I know a common question people are asking me is all the altcoins, if Bitcoin goes up to 132, or all the altcoins going to be going up too? You got to realize Bitcoin at 118 right now, 119, going up 12, 13,000 points. I don't know how much that pulls the alts up. Some alts will certainly go up, right? Maybe overall they'll all have some buying pressure to the upside. But the bigger move, I believe, in the altcoins is going to happen after Bitcoin tops, after it does a drop, right? Especially if it's a sharp drop, bottoms, bases, takes off for the next big leg, right? That's when you'll see the big move. So for me, for Ethereum to have a lot more upside, you want to hold 3801, which you're beneath it right now, 3792. But really, you got to take out 4,095. You got to take out 4,100. You got to take out 4,100, get above it to go up to your next level. Your all-time high is 48.65. But you got to take out this clear zone of resistance, which has caused these massive drops in Ethereum, which is where you are right now. And again, where could Ethereum retrace to? I look at the support structure at 3,000. Looks solid, right? 3,000. And then, of course, down here in that 2,750 range, if it went even deeper. How much will it fall? If I told you Bitcoin's falling 30%, what do you think Ethereum's going to fall? I mean, that's what it comes down to. So I use that. I take out my bias from it, and I look at ratios in the market where I think it's going to go to, looking at support and resistance. 3,800 right now, 3,791. Can easily see 3,000. Could come as low as 2,750 down into this range, right? So that's what I'm looking at on Ethereum to be bullish. Get above 4,100. Then you got some more upside. Could do it. We'll see. Solana, like I said, it's got to take out 210 to get to upside targets at 225, 249. Solana, look, I think everything's going to be the same. With Bitcoin, if Bitcoin takes off, you might get some buying pressure in Solana, right? But ultimately, it's going to retrace with Bitcoin. And then as Bitcoin comes to do its next leg, that's when you're going to see Solana and a lot of these big alts really, really take off. So that's what I'm looking at. You got to get above 210. They have some more higher level targets here. You're at 187. If this little double top that's forming ends up breaking down, you want to look at Solana support structures. You got a lot of candles down here in that 150 range, and you have your deeper lows down here, of course, below the $110 range. So you want to see Solana try to hold somewhere 125, right? So if it did come back down, but I think it'll go up first, but if it does come back down, with Bitcoin retracing, which obviously it will, you want to try to hold that 125 level. That would be important to Solana to keep a chopping range here. Keep your overall structure of your higher lows intact for the next big wave up, right? That's what I think. And if you look at XRP, very similar, guys. We got to our target at 200% at $3.69. And now, you have this little double top structure. It can easily reverse and come back to the upside if Bitcoin does move up that final 10, 15,000 points. And then you want to look at that 369 again. To get more upside in XRP, you got to get above 370. And then I have 434 would be that target. Again, it's possible when Bitcoin swings up, if I'm right, and Bitcoin swings up 10, 15,000 points, you get the buying pressure in the alts. But again, just be aware, just because it went up with Bitcoin, remember the next step that I think is going to happen is a retracement, a substantial retracement in Bitcoin, 20 to 30%, depending what the market's put in. I would expect 30. That's what we did the last 2 years. And it's hyper bullish. Remember, if Bitcoin gets to 132, goes down 30%, that's roughly 89, 90K, right? Anything above that, any type of smaller retracement, especially if Bitcoin stays between 100 and 110, extremely, extremely bullish. But you're going to see it reflected in the altcoins. So look at your structures. If you wave back up here with Bitcoin, stall out $3.70, look at your support structures. Try to hold above 291. Beneath that, you're going to have these candle structures down here around $2.25. This obviously goes up and down in this range, but you want to hold these ranges. You don't want to make new lows, right? You want to stay and hold these ranges if you do get a retracement. But first, I think everybody wants to focus and see, do we get upside with Bitcoin moving up that final 10, 15,000 points? And it's definitely possible. Watch 370, watch 434. All the alts are not going to act the same. Many will act differently. You look at DOGE. People have been asking about DOGE. All these patterns are similar, guys. I mean, you got some basic TA patterns here. You have a low, you have a higher low. You're trying to hold a higher low. You have a pattern that could be forming as a double top here, or a double bottom to a breakout to the upside. So again, same thesis, not to be a broken record here, but you need to get above 28 cents, basically 29 cents, to have some more blue skies to come up to higher levels. And it's possible with Bitcoin waving up, you do that. But let's look at this from Fibonacci perspective. If we pull Fibonacci from your high there to your low, you got up to basically to 382, right? So if you get above 29 cents, you got 31 cents, 35 cents, and then expect a retracement with Bitcoin. Dogecoin will not go up if Bitcoin goes to 132 and drops 30%. Just saying, just be aware of that, okay? And look at your key support levels. Look at 20 cents. You want to stay above 20 cents, and then you have your trading range down here all the way down to the 14, 13 cent level. You want to at the worst, right? If you do come up with Bitcoin some, get some nice movement, maybe you get the 35 cents. If you get some type of retracement, 20 cents will be key to hold. And at the worst, you want to be down here in this coil range, ready for the next breakout when Bitcoin goes for its 4-year cycle top. That would be important. All right, guys, hope to see you on X. Hope to see you on the Discord. See you in the next video. Take care, everybody.